This is the second word processing section. We'll be looking at styles, breaks, sections, headers, page numbers, and tables. As much as it can be fun sometimes to sit in front of the computer and type away, at other points in time when you've got to do a task that's repetitive or boring, it can be annoying just to have to sit there and do these tasks over and over again. We've already dealt with styles using the built-in styles with our word processing, but we're going to focus to start in this section a little bit on creating your own custom styles. And that's really where a lot of the power comes in with regards to being able to write and put information in and then change the format of large sections and different sections of your document without going to a lot of work. So we'll be looking at that in just a second. I'm going to start with page and column breaks. Now a page break, which you can put in with a Control-Enter, moves the text that follows the break to the top of the next page. Column break moves the text that follows the break to the top of the next column. So in OpenOffice we can go Insert and then click on Manual Break. Select Page Break and then click OK. Continuous sections differ from typical page sections in the sense that continuous sections are put all on one page. So word processors use continuous sections to change a number of columns, for example, on a part of a page, and it doesn't necessarily start a new page or end a page. In OpenOffice, we can just click on an Insert and then Section.
In Microsoft Word, the continuous section breaks are found in the page layout menu, and that would allow you to start a new section, but it doesn't start a new page. So in Word, we click on the Page Layout tab, click on Breaks, and then click on Continuous to insert the continuous section break.
If you select some text and convert it to columns, so you've gone maybe from really what's one column and you've converted the text that you've highlighted to two columns, that will automatically create a new section, but it doesn't necessarily create a column break. In other words, it doesn't necessarily tell the word processing program where to switch to the top of the second column, and you may have to put that break in on your own. In OpenOffice Writer, we highlight the text we want to convert to two columns and then go Format Columns. Select the two columns that you want and you would click OK. We can see that a column has been inserted, and if you look at the top on the bar you will see a line that indicates that that's the end of the first column, beginning of the second, and the way that the text is highlighted also indicates that. Alright, now let's get to the real power of styles. Word processors use page sections, or what are called page styles, it can be called page sections or page styles, to change formatting elements. And it can change margins, columns, page orientation, headers, footers, sequence of page numbers, all kinds of different things. In OpenOffice Writer, we just click on Format and then Styles and Formatting. Select the Page Styles option, and then you can right-click on a particular style and then modify. Just a note that Microsoft Word does not use page styles like this. So here we can select Page and then make the changes that we want to for the page style. In Microsoft Word, you wouldn't be using page styles, you'd be using sections. So Microsoft always uses sections to do things, whereas there's a specific page style if you're using the OpenOffice Writer. When you're dealing with page sections or page styles, you could put in a page section or page style break to move the text that follows the break that you've put in to a new section or new style and a new page. So basically what you're doing is you're saying, I'm going to move from the type of style that I'm in or the type of section that I'm in to a new one, and I'm also going to switch over to a new page. In OpenOffice Writer, we can do this by selecting the point where we want to put the break and then go Insert Manual Break. We would say that we want to do a page break, and we would say that the style will be first page, and then click OK.
In Word, you would click on Page Layout, Breaks, and then click to insert a next page section break.
You're able to set margins for the page section or page style that you happen to be in. In OpenOffice Writer, we start that process by going Format and then Styles and Formatting. Switch to Page Styles, select the particular page style, and say that you want to modify that. Under the Page tab, you would then go and change the margins to what you want them to be.
In Word, you would go File and then Custom Margins in order to set the margins. Then select Margins. Go and put in the specific amount that you want for the left margin or the right margin, whatever it is. And then you need to specify where you want it applied. So in this case, saying that we want it to go to just this section, apply to just this section in the document.
We can also change the orientation of the page. It could be portrait, which is a typical, or landscape, and you can set it to go for a particular section or create a new section. Basically, you have images there so you can see that what portrait and landscape would look like when you print them out. Headers go at the top of every page in a section or style, and footers go at the bottom. And you can put lots of stuff in them, including text, page numbers, the total number of pages that have gone so far, dates, times, and so on. In OpenOffice Writer, we can go into the Header tab and make sure that the header is turned on. And in the header, we can insert different types of fields, and in this case, we're putting in a page number field. In Microsoft Word, you must make sure that you remove the same as previous connection between the header or the footer that you're in of the current section with the previous one. So in other words, the section before the section that you're in, that connection needs to be turned off if you want to have different page numbering schemes in each of those different sections. So Word works a little bit differently in this regard.
In Microsoft Word, we click on Insert, then Header, and finally Edit Header.
Make sure that you remove the link to previous and then close. Before you insert any page numbers, you need to set up your page sections or your page styles properly, depending on the program that you're working with. And in Microsoft Word, turn off the same as previous in the headers and footers. Word processors allow you to easily create a table of contents for your document. The table of contents would use styles to mark the text for inclusion so that you indicate which text is supposed to be included in the actual table of contents. By default, most word processing programs will use the heading styles, and those would already be predefined. You can also create an index of important words in your document that you could have at the end, for example, and you could use a file to mark the words for you, but typically you're better off to indicate to the program itself which of the words you want to have included in the index, and to do that manually. In OpenOffice, we can click on Insert, Index and Tables, and Index and Tables. Click on the Index and Table tag, and then tell it that you want to do a table of contents for the document. There's a couple different ways that we can do columns. We can do newspaper columns where the text flows from the top of the first column down to the bottom and then goes to the top of the next column, which is kind of the regular kind of columns that you have in word processors. And you can also do what's called a table column or a parallel column. And to create a parallel column in Word or a word processor, you must use tables where you set the borders to 0 or to invisible so that you don't actually see the outline of the table itself. In OpenOffice Writer, we create the table that we want to use, and then we would fill in the information in the different cells of the table. And the reason we want to do this perhaps is we might have two columns where we want information in one column to be associated or connected to information in the second column, so that you can create something where the information would stay together.